Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to an explainer that could, quite literally, fundamentally change how you, or maybe someone you deeply care about, approaches proactive health. Today, we're unpacking an incredibly crucial source document titled The Essential Guide to Senior Wellness. It's concise, it's powerful, and it's packed with the exact kind of straightforward information we usually miss in the absolute noise of everyday health advice. So, if you want to understand the exact steps to maintaining a fantastic quality of life as the years go by, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's look at the foundational idea that sets the stage for the whole shebang.
Getting older does not mean getting sicker. I just want to let that sink in for a second. That single quote from our source material instantly flips the whole paradigm of aging entirely on its head. I mean, for so long, society has treated aging and illness like they're just the exact same thing, like it's an inevitable package deal. But they're not. This text powerfully untangles the two. It's this incredibly empowering reality check that really challenges us to drop that fatalistic, oh well, attitude about our health, and start looking at our bodies through a completely different lens.
We're really actively contrasting two totally different mindsets here. First, you've got the outdated myth, right? The old reality, where getting older automatically equals getting sicker. But then look at the new reality. Getting older simply equals needing the right kind of attention. The source emphasizes that the body doesn't necessarily just break down. It simply requires a slightly different, maybe a more targeted owner's manual than it did, say, 20 or 30 years ago. It just needs a little more attention, and crucially, the absolute right kind of attention.
All right, Section 1, the new aging reality. Reframing what it means to grow older.
So, our guide puts a really specific spotlight on this one major milestone, age 60. Basically, if you're over 60, the rules of your biological machinery have completely changed. This is where we start rooting that empowering concept we just talked about into real, actionable advice. And the guide notes a pretty sobering reality here. Your doctor might not have entirely spelled all of this out for you. You know, that standard quick checkup? It often completely misses these daily, life-altering proactive steps. So, if you or a loved one is at this number right now or approaching it, this is exactly where the new rulebook begins.
Moving on to Section 2, fueling and hydrating properly, giving your body the specific fuel it needs.
Okay, so as the body ages, the way it processes food fundamentally shifts. You just can't run on the same fuel strategy you used in your 30s and expect the exact same output. So the absolute most crucial thing on your plate right now, protein. According to the guide, protein matters now more than ever. And why is that? Well, because after 60, your body loses muscle at a much faster rate. It's just a biological fact, and it's one that you have to actively fight against. How do you fight it? By making essential protein sources, things like eggs, chicken, fish, or legumes, absolutely mandatory. And the guide doesn't just say to eat them occasionally. No, it specifically says you need to be incorporating these at every single meal to combat that accelerated muscle loss.
And right alongside food is hydration, which brings us to a magic number, 8. The guide sets a strict, non-negotiable minimum of 8 glasses of water a day. But here is the fascinating and honestly somewhat dangerous biological quirk about this. Older adults actually feel thirst less. Your body's internal alarm clock for hydration literally gets quieter. Because of that, you absolutely cannot wait for the alarm to go off. You have to hydrate before you ever actually feel thirsty. It has to become this conscious, deliberate habit instead of just an instinctual reaction.
Let's move into Section 3, building unshakable physical balance, protecting yourself from the top injury risk.
So, we've talked about internal fuel, but now we really need to protect our physical mechanics. Look, falls are the #1 cause of injury in seniors, period. And the source presents this not to scare you, but to completely reframe physical balance as a critical daily necessity. Think about it. When you know what the primary threat is, you can actually build a solid defense against it. You wouldn't drive a car without checking the brakes, right? Well, you should navigate your senior years without actively checking and training your balance.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the defense strategy is actually highly targeted. It's not about, going out and running marathons. It's about simple, deliberate movements. Step 1, practice standing on one foot. Step 2, do chair yoga. The guide is incredibly direct here. It just flat out says it works. These are super accessible, highly effective exercises, and they actually train these specific neuromuscular connections you need to build unshakable balance and keep yourself safely on your feet.
Which brings us to Section 4, managing medications and minds, the hidden health factors of aging. Now we're moving from those visible physical risks to the unseen aspects of senior wellness, the stuff that so often slips right under the radar. The guide points out this, frankly, staggering reality. 5+. Many seniors are currently navigating 5 or more different medications every single day. I mean, that is a massive biochemical load on the body. As the years go by, prescriptions can really stack up. One doctor prescribes something, then a specialist adds something else, and suddenly, you're managing a complex daily pharmacy right there on your kitchen counter.
So the huge question you have to ask yourself, and your doctor, is do you still need all of them? You really have to be your own advocate here and proactively check your prescriptions against your body's current operating rules. Look, just because you needed a specific medication 5 years ago doesn't automatically mean your body requires it today under this brand new biological reality.
And right alongside what goes into your body is what goes on in your mind. Your mental health is physical health. The guide delivers this massive absolute truth with heavy conviction. And it notes a really tragic reality. Depression in seniors very, very often goes totally undiagnosed. It just gets written off as, oh, they're just getting older, or they're just tired. But remember what we learned at the very beginning? Aging does not mean getting sicker, and that applies to your mind just as much as it applies to your body. So, the guide offers a very clear action plan for this. If you are feeling low, you absolutely must acknowledge it. And even more crucially, you have to tell someone you trust. Please speak up. Cementing this vital connection between your mind and your body is just essential. You literally cannot optimize your physical health if you're silently carrying around the heavy burden of undiagnosed depression. You have got to shine a light on it.
And finally, Section 5, thriving in your golden years, taking action and sharing the knowledge.
So, we've covered the practical mechanics, right? The protein, the water, the balance, the medications, and the mind. Now, the source document shifts into this incredibly empowering conclusion. It explicitly reminds us, take care of the body that's carried you this far. I love that. You have earned a good life. Your body has done incredible, amazing work getting you to this milestone. It's carried you through decades of experiences and challenges and triumphs. You absolutely deserve to actively protect it now by giving it that exact right kind of attention we've been talking about.
Which leaves us with one final, incredibly important question from our source today. Who can you share this with today? The guide explicitly asks readers to pass this information along to someone they love, noting that this simple knowledge could literally help someone today. So think about the people in your life. Who do you know that's approaching 60? Who's already there? Who really needs to know that getting older doesn't mean getting sicker? Send this explainer their way. You might just change the way they live the rest of their lives.